Let's get cooking. I shouldn't have left y'all without a dope stream to step to. Alright, we're gonna do some more drawing as usual. Let's get everything set up. Let's let the boys, the girls, and the non-binary guys and pals and gals in the Discord know that we're streaming. Then we're going to draw for an hour. A power hour. I'm going to do a little chatting. It's Easter Sunday, apparently. What's up, Sugar Soul? How are you? I hope you're wonderful today. I am just getting my little area set up. We'll be cooking in just a second. Thanks for liking the stream. What's up, Child of Chair? How are you? It's nice to have you around. I'm just getting my place. What's up, Theory? Bro, you're always so fast. Flag Night Star, I've missed you. How have you been? Well, happy Easter for you, pro. Flag, talk to me. What's been up? Also, if you're hanging out with us in the chat and you see another, you can't tell who I'm talking to. We have two chats going because we have two streams going. So if you're in the vertical and you would like to check out the horizontal stream, give it a shot. If you're in the horizontal, you want to check out the vertical. Get me up to date, Flag. What's been up? Going. I see a theory all over the place. You're in the expensive seats. You're in the cheap seats. So tell me, Chair, Theory, Sugar Soul, Flag, Pro, what y'all been doing? Any new creative projects? What y'all got going on this weekend? How's life? How are things? Catch me up. Tell me about your creative projects. Any new movies? Any new music that you've been listening to? Get to drawing. Thanks for being here. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and we are gonna start our first drawing now. Let's cook. All right, so I'm doing gesture drawings, and the idea here is like, how fast am I able to kind of catch the likeness of a pose without necessarily like drawing the whole pose. So we're kind of just like speed drawing, and it's gonna take me a few to get warmed up here. Ooh, not my best work, but let's give it another shot. Okay. Again, bad drawings teach us good lessons. So there's no like mistakes, or there's always something out of it. You know, and we also got to get warmed up a little bit. Alright, so don't love either one of these necessarily, but let's find the shadows. See if that does something for us. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm kind in the last few days. Well, that's awesome. It's nice to be kind. That pays off your entire life. And also, like, I think, like with anything in life, the more you do something, like, the better you get at it. And, like, being really good at being kind would be a great skill to upgrade. It's your mom's birthday, so I made a surprise party to her. That's awesome. Awesome. A you, Theory? You did a Euphoria inspired makeup look and going to do a YouTube video soon. Ooh, I love that. Happy birthday there. Sugar Soul, my niece is coming stay the week with me. Um, this week. And we are signed up to go to the red carpet walk for the Euphoria season 3 premiere. So you might think that's cool. If you did your makeup look, you might like that. So my niece is so excited that she's going to be in the same room with Jacob Elordi. I was like, well, we'll know he's in the room for sure. Just being myself. It's like 50 people in 2 days. Well, keep being yourself then. Because people are going to love it. Congratulations, Pro. You hit 230 subs. That's awesome. I've been alright. I've been hyperfixating on the game I bought a year ago. Also pre-ordered the new Tamagotchi Life game after playing the demo. What's the game you bought a year ago, Fly? Have you been doing any writing or drawing? Also been unmotivated. Oh, to do early. I see. I just got to the bottom. I gotcha. Well, dude, sometimes you need a break. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's important, like, understanding and thing to understand as an artist is like, you don't get to have your best days every day. And that's not even like just being an artist. That's like just part of being a human. You don't get to have your best days every day, and that's part of like the human existence. And I think getting used to having some rough days as an artist and knowing like today, I didn't really draw very well, or I couldn't really get in the groove, or whatever it is. Like Flag said, she's kind of been unmotivated. And like being unmotivated is a little different than being like having like a creative block. But they're both okay, you know? It's okay. It's kind of good. Because life works that way too. Sometimes you just have some of those days where you just don't feel motivated to do anything. And some days you're making your best artwork. And life is a wonderful balance of both of those things. But what I do think is cool is that you came in here, Flag, and you're always so on top of how you feel, and you are always very an expressive person, and I think it's cool that you came in here and you expressed exactly how you felt in a very healthy way, and hopefully, that's a good impression for a lot of the other people in the community, when they're feeling stuck or they're feeling unmotivated, maybe they'll hop in somewhere and tell somebody about it. Thank you for saying that. Wait, what happened? Why are we thanking people? For saying happy birthday? Shout out here for. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, take the love. Love is always good. Moonstone Island, huh? Bro, you got an ad. Bro, why are you in Twitch then? You got a million ways for you not to have to see ads, bro. But you know what I like about you, bro, is I can tell that you're on Twitch, you're on YouTube, you're on both YouTube streams. How can you possibly be on all 4 streams at once? It's pretty impressive. Okay, we are still not warmed up, but let's keep moving. Try something here. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, frontward pose is always much easier, but I can and will often run out of page down here. Got that there. Maybe this. All right, let's not do too much there. You know, that's not a terrible start. Let's grab some shadow. That, what did I grab? An N4? I grabbed the wrong pen. It's too late. Working with an N4 now. Okay. That's just the situation. Yeah, so I'm just doing some fast gesture lines with an ink pen to, you know, tell myself where it is, and then I'm using my marker here to just color in some shadows. Trying not to judge how good or bad the piece of art is kind of while I'm doing it. It's kind of an exercise of doing the opposite of that. It's like, how far can I get through a drawing without judging it, you know? And then I can look at the drawing tomorrow and decide if I like it. But like part of this kind of drawing, I think, is an exercise in like humility with yourself, you know? Allowing yourself to make mistakes. Hello. Finally, I'm here and can hear you. Well, pro. You're on YouTube. You don't have to see ads. But I appreciate you being around. Look at everybody hanging out. Y'all tell me, how are things? Anybody else doing anything fun? Has anybody else played Moonstone Island? Have any of y'all played the game Moonstone Island? Um okay. So I think we got all our shadows. Oh no, we missed one right there. Okay, what do we think? Can we see something there? I need to stop. I need to start a little higher on the page, or I need to keep my drawing small. All right, let's keep cooking. I really like that pose. I'll come back to that eventually. Wow, this is gonna be a hard pose, but this will be fun. Not anyone has played it, considering it's a quite niche game. Well, we're a niche community, you know. Oh, child, a chair. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, there's. I'm so sorry for your loss. You know, I would love to say something like clever and wonderful to like make you feel better. Um, but I'm not sure I can. But I tell you what, I'm glad that you're here with us. You know, and I'm also proud that you've come in here and you've talked to us about it. I think that's real cool. Having big feelings or dealing with tough feelings and like having a community to express yourself, or having a way to express yourself. Um, I'm proud of you for that. You made a video for me, Theory? Well, I'm sorry, child of cheer, but again, I'm very proud of you, and I'm glad that you're here talking to us about it. You know, that's a real brave thing for you to come in here and express yourself in that way. You know, and it also makes me be proud of the community here, that you feel safe enough to come in here and tell us. Um, you know, life is just is a series of conflicts that we learn how to resolve one at a time. And so much of things in life we don't get to control, and we can learn a little bit about like letting go of control through art maybe. And if you are having a tough time, don't forget that you're not alone. You have communities like this that are willing to listen to you and talk to you about how you feel and understand what you're dealing with. Art's a beautiful thing because it created a reason for us to be here and hang out because we're drawing, we're artists. And in that situation, art has allowed us to be here and talk about things we're dealing with. So if you need somewhere to put those feelings, uh give art a shot. If you're feelings get heavy, try to see if there's a way to write a story about it or draw a picture about it. You know, make a that next great painting or film, or maybe dance or sing or whatever it is. Like, don't forget that those when those feelings stack up on you, you have art to express yourself in a way. And I think the first step is just like being able to just talk about it. Mm, this feels much better. Why did my chat? This PFP is much better. Why did my chat go through? I think you're traveling through. It was Biscuit. Like a dad to me. I'm sorry, child. Your cat's like a therapist now? Dude. Child, my cat's like a therapist to me too. Well, child, I'm glad that you're able to talk about it. And if you need to talk about anything any further, if I hope it makes you feel better to find a community like this. Hopefully you can find a wonderful way to express yourself. And then I hope that you feel better real soon. And I'm proud of you. And if you haven't heard it recently, I love you. And the world's a better place because you're here with us. And I think that's important to know. Okay, okay. So we're getting a little bit more warmed up now, I think. Their pillows are always warm for calling that their thing the school people call me emo and depressed. That's kind of what you said about tonight. Well, don't worry about it. I think that's a compliment. If you have emotions and you're expressing them, that's one thing about school is like even the people in school that seem like they're cool, that seem like they know what they're doing, they don't nobody knows what they're doing, y'all. They're all just making it up as they go along. And when they grow up, they're gonna look back at the way you were being emo. And they're gonna say, dang, I should have learned how to develop my feelings when I was younger too. Because now you're stuck as an adult and you don't know how to manage your feelings. And that's no good. And I think part of art is expressing your feelings, and you don't have to like always in every conversation be sappy or expressing your feelings, but is it a great idea from time to time? Yes. Yes, I think it's one of the most important things in life to sit down and find a way to work out your feelings, express your feelings between you and the people you love. I think it's one of the most important things in life, you know? And I think in school, sometimes things that you don't understand or that you haven't figured out yet for yourself, um, you might make fun of, you know, but when people grow up, you start to understand things that you didn't understand when you were younger. And those people that were in their feelings, you know, those are the people that grow up to be rock stars and movie stars and influencers and actors, and, you know. Uh, Better route and try to go through how my PFP is it? Yeah, I don't know why your profile's not there. I don't have any idea. Maybe it'll have to take a new stream for it to reload. Reload. I haven't told me that in a while. Well, I'm glad I could be the one to tell you. So kind of you to say about them. All the way you were emo. Cool, draw along with me. Theory, how do I see the oh, I see your profile picture on YouTube for sure now. Because of the shoots and something that happened. Well, you know, child, that's a very good like example of, you know, the conflicts we deal with in life every day, you know, and part of life is like you identifying that conflict. I think is really cool. You know, we will deal with things like that our entire life. You know, conflicts between friends and how they might treat you and how, you know, you actually want to be treated, and sometimes those things might not line up, you know, but you can learn, like, just like I say, every bad drawing is a good lesson. You know, your the conflicts in life, they teach us things. So even though, like, you know, the circumstances is bad or negative, um you're going to be able to pull something positive out of it because you're going to be able to express yourself in a healthy way, and I think that's important, you know. Well, that sucks. What's happening? Are y'all making fun of me right now? Is this a joke? Pro, are you making fun of me? Sad. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work there. But I see it. I definitely see it. Theory, how do I see the video? You said you made a video about it, about me. Can I? Will I be tagged in or something on YouTube? Can you post it in the a link in the Twitch here? I mean, in the chat. Okay, I should be able to see it then. Yeah, I'll give it a look. I'm very flattered. By the way, I appreciate you making content that has anything to do with the work I'm doing. That's really cool of you. You know, I know you didn't have to do that. I appreciate that you did. That's very special and thoughtful, and I'm flattered and appreciative. Yeah. Rusty changes her name every 5 days. All right, so we're just finding shadows again here. So we just did the gesture drawing to just kind of find like where the drawing is, and then our shadows will give it a little bit of form here. I'm just trying to find the areas, and I'm not, again, like half of this is like we're saying, like not judging ourselves, not getting mad, not deciding whether the drawing is good or bad, but just, you doing the drawing. Yeah, but you got a style. You might change it up, but there's some similarities. Sugar, you still hanging out? Do you have a place where you post your makeup stuff? I'll let y'all remind y'all art is art is art. You know, there's this thing where we start to think maybe art is drawing. And art can be drawing, but I mean, it's not only drawing. Okay. Okay, maybe that got us pretty close. It's kind of chaotic up in here, but what can we do? Oh, yes, you're here. Oh, that sucks. Sorry, your head hurts. Your cat looks so strong. Paste it in here, Theory. You talking to me? Get you some water, bro. I got a headache almost every time. It's because I'm thirsty. Also, have you been staring at VR screens too long? It could definitely be that too. All right, we're still just finding some shadows now that we got all our contour lines around. And sometimes I grab the form or the anatomy correctly, sometimes I don't. But even if I don't get the anatomy right, I'm learning about the markers, the ink, the lines that I like, you know? Sometimes I'll do a drawing and I don't know why I like it. And that's gonna come. You could do a drawing that I don't like today, and tomorrow I like. Well, that's a tough pose. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this one, guys. We're gonna try though. Okay. And kind of comes out here. Right. Her leg kind of comes under her here. What an interesting pose. Like that. It's gonna be tough. Cool tattoo and art. Thanks, Ashy. I appreciate it. Are you an artist, Ashy? Do you have any tattoos? Hey, y'all be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. So this is a tough pose that I'm drawing here, but we just want to give it a shot, see how it comes out. A lot of times I'll see one of these poses and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to draw that. And then I draw it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or somebody's drawing it's not that great, but um I try to even draw things sometimes that maybe I might not want to draw. Can we even tell that that's a person squatted down there? So, all right, moving on. Okay, so this is a fun pose. Let's try this one. We'll do doodles. More to crochet. Hey, well, doodles and crochet, that both count. Well, it's gonna give you a headache. The way you make your sketch is very cool. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. I'm just doing contour gesture drawings. So the trick is I always say less about drawing and kind of more about like working on your self-talk. You have things that you say in your mind when you're working or drawing or something like that. And a lot of the times it's like, hey, that doesn't look right, or you didn't draw that correctly, or that's the wrong word, depending on your writing or drawing or whatever it is. And sometimes when I do this kind of drawing, I'm trying to like quiet all that self-talk. So when my brain says, hey, that line is not perfect, that's not where it goes exactly, I try to just softly acknowledge it, but then ignore it, like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to like that line, but I'm not playing a game of let's like lines. I'm playing, I want to draw something that's fun and expressive and easy for me. I don't want to have stress, when I'm drawing. I want to relieve stress, so I feel like sometimes if you draw in this particular way, like learning to talk to yourself in a very kind way, like, hey, that's fine, that's not the right line, but it's okay, let's just go ahead and get through this drawing, it's not that big deal. It's not life or death, it's just a drawing in my sketchbook. And I think that kind of self-talk is healthy and you carry it in the rest of your life. You'll find yourself talking to yourself that way at the grocery store, or you find yourself talking to your loved ones and being more patient, and some of that could just come from drawing in a way where you're not too judgmental on yourself and you're not expecting a perfect, beautiful piece of art, but you're like, you're just gonna allow yourself to kind of have fun and express yourself. And I think that allows you to kind of make some of these lines that are kind of, um, I don't know what you would call those lines, expressive or, they're not always what I might expect. Something cool. Yeah, I always want to know something cool. There's such a positive mindset because I used to struggle much making anything wanting to be perfect, but now I understand that's more than fun and rather perfection. You're right, Ashley. That's exactly why I do this stream is to explain that exact thing to people, and I appreciate that you understand that. And here's the thing, Ashley. Um, it takes just as much practice. Like you still have to practice talking to yourself in a positive way. You still have to practice allowing yourself to make the mistakes, you know? It's a different kind of muscle, but you're going to have to practice just like you would if you were doing realistic art. You're gonna have to practice expressing yourself in a way. You have to practice allowing yourself to make a mistake, you know? And like here's the thing about perfect. Like can one of my moderators ban The stream view viewer bot. Can you draw a head afterwards? What's up, stream? Stream M1G. Yeah, I could definitely draw a portrait. You want me to do a portrait right now? Thanks for the request. Let me get my favorite pen. I haven't done a portrait in a while. You still here with us, M1G? Oh, you don't have a mod on Twitch? Well, maybe Flag is still here with us. Y'all be sure and like the stream and sub to the channel. My guys and gals, my non-binary pals. Hope one day and I get to see you art in the museum. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you being here. Ashley, be sure and subscribe. I'd love to see you back here one day. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Come chat with us again. Oh, I dropped my pen. I'd love for you to be part of the stream. I'd like to hear more about your art journey. You know, if you found like a good way to express yourself in this way. All right, I guess we're going to do a face, but let's see if M1G, if you're still here with us in the room, maybe this will, how long we've been streaming for? Well, we still got another 30 minutes. So I'm just saying random things. That's fine. On a walk or a run that makes you physically healthy, but if you draw or make art, what's that make you? That makes you mentally healthy. The student has become the teacher. Do you see my other message about YouTube and Twitch? Yeah, I think so. Now I'm watching Twitch here, YouTube and VR both on live. Yeah, I am. I don't read all of all of them out loud. It's so many to read out loud, bro. If that's what you mean. Okay, so I'm gonna keep drawing gestures, but if stream M1G, if you come back here and let me know, I'll do a portrait for you. Let's do some more sketches here. Okay, so sometimes what they tell you to do is do this line of action, which does help. Sometimes it messes me up. Okay, something like that. Okay. And there's also a weird gesture drawing rule that, like, if you draw a curved line on one side, then you must draw a straight line on the other. I'll try to show y'all an example in a second, but there's this rule. Like, for example, this line here is curved, so the opposite line should be straight. And this line looks straight-ish, so the opposite line should be curved. So you do an opposition of straight lines and curved lines. And then you have like a squish and a stretch that happens at a waist, you know? Okay. Can pull this back together. All right, let's see if we can find some shadows. See you later, Ashy. Gabriel, the cool thing is making my own series, and I will eventually make my own game. Wow, that sounds awesome, Theory. What, yeah, I've graduated. Hello, bro. Tell me about your series and the game you want to make. Go off VR, I'm going to YouTube. No wonder you have a headache. No wonder you have a headache. I love some of these poses, and I feel like I'm not really doing some of them justice today. But it's okay. You know, we might try some experiments here with the second half of the stream. What do y'all think about that? What if I break out some If I break out some pastels or something. And also, in a second, we could just look through the sketchbook again if y'all want. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the best job here, but this arm is way too long. What if I fix it? What if I fix it? It's interesting. Interesting. It's called Legacy. Oh, that's cool. That's the name of music artist too, but it doesn't matter. What the hell thing since like the first time you ever said it around me. Well, I'm glad, Rusty. If something sticks, I'm glad that that is something that's stuck for you. And I hope that you can carry that with you through your entire life. You keep that philosophy. Um, yeah, it'll help. And there's so many little things like here's like little lessons I like to think about. When I'm drawing this way and like I'm telling you like part of what I'm here is teaching everybody very healthy internal monologues while you're making art because those healthy internal monologues um they come with you for the rest of your life. And you might as well establish them while you're making art in your room alone or something like that, and then not having to learn some of these lessons like out in public in front of people or something. And one of those things is just kind of like getting to know yourself and how you deal with pressure and things like that. So for example, as I'm drawing and I'm dealing with my inner monologue that I'm saying everybody is going to be dealing with while drawing, and it's a healthy, normal thing. But like every one of these lines I put down, um, they don't all matter. You're like, hey, if I make a mistake, what do I do? What am I supposed to do about a mistake? Should I start over? Should I get angry? And like, well, what you learn is that not all the lines matter. And generally, it's not that any of the lines matter. It's this grouping of lines that matters. So like we might get super focused on just the details and not just of our drawings, but like I'm saying, like this is kind of about a lesson in life where you get so stressed out about every little line and all these choices, and it starts to feel like everything is like life or death. They're so important, and some things are, but I think like there's a lesson that you can learn from drawing a lot where you realize some of these lines that you were really stressing about, whether they were the perfect lines or whether they were in the right spot, that in the grand scheme of things, when you're done with your piece of art, uh, some of those lines just don't even matter. And there's a lesson there in life where it's like some of the lines don't matter. Some of the decisions you make, it's okay. They're irrelevant. You just move on. And if you don't like the drawing, you just turn the page, you know? And that's the same thing with life. Like sometimes you just do the drawing and maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Every line doesn't matter. But when you're done with that drawing, you can turn the page and be a better artist on the next page. And I think that's how life is too. So like you're dealing with stuff in life, like just do your best. Start putting some lines down. Start trying to make some decisions. Not all the decisions are going to matter or work, but if it doesn't work, you just turn the page and just start it all over. And I haven't even looked at that page. I didn't judge that piece of art. I just moved on, and I think that's a beautiful lesson that we can learn in life, that sometimes every line doesn't matter, and that even lines that you think are bad in hindsight might really be beautiful. And I think that's a great lesson. You know? Pro, go drink some water. Take a Tylenol. Lay down. Close your eyes. You got to get off the screens. That's why I got a headache. But also keep the stream rolling. Don't crumple up your paper. Give up. No, don't. Girl drawing like you are now. Their opinion doesn't matter if you like it. What do you mean? I hate making art around people because they always correct me. One time they took my pencil and tried to fix it, but they just scrolled over. Yeah, people will do that, but like this is what someone taught me as a writer, okay? If you write a really great story, before you get to the end of that story, everybody's going to want to tell you how they think the story should end. And it's a little annoying because somebody's like, let me tell you how your story should end. But what I've learned is that means that they were impressed. Is my pen running out of ink? Might be. That means that they were impressed. Oh, I did. I ran that pen out of ink. If somebody hears you telling a story and before you get to the end of it, they try to tell their own end of the story, that means that it was a good story and they liked the story. And I think it's similar maybe when it comes to art. So if somebody tries to interject in your art before it's done and they're like, "Oh, I can see where this needs to go." That's usually a compliment. That usually means uh you kind of nailed it. Uh but that's gonna happen. And I think part of the thing is like creating so much work, creating so much art because you love it so much that if somebody wants a piece of your art, just give it away. And just say, hey, you know what? You can take that piece and finish it if you want. I got a notebook full of them. But you have to have like so many drawings in order to be comfortable with letting them go. But that's what I would do because I've been in situations where you get so agitated at every little piece or people's opinions or somebody, my little cousin or somebody wants to draw on a drawing. Um, you can make so many drawings that it's okay. You know, you are an infinite art creating machine. So if you lose a piece of art, it's okay. You could just make another one. You know? And I realize it could get annoying and frustrated, but it's the idea. Make so many pieces of artwork that you could lose a couple and still be happy. you know? That's anyway. That's how I feel. I try to do so many pieces of artwork that I don't even know they exist anymore. There's so many drawings. But I will say, if somebody wants to tell the ending of your story, wants to tell the ending of your drawing, that means they like it. That means it's a good story. That means it's working. It's a good pose. I probably could have done it better, but let's keep going. Later, Pro. Thanks for hanging out. Well, now you know how to regulate. Sometimes our feelings get big and we cry, but as we get older, um, we get better at understanding our feelings and understanding how people work and why they do the things that they do. And we learn to like judge ourselves less for the actions of others. You know, for some reason, when we're young, every action that people make, we think is like attributed to us. Like, oh, so and so did that. It's like the older you get, you realize people's decisions don't have a whole lot to do with anything but themselves, you know? But we might get into a habit of beating ourselves up over little things, you know? Okay, lines here, something like that. Okay, let's find some shadows. All right. All right. So I hope everyone's having a happy Easter, and I want to remind y'all as we're getting closer to the end of the stream that your life is full of conflicts. You know, that's kind of just what life is it's a series of like conflicts and resolutions. And with every time you have a conflict, you end up with a resolution, and life gets better every time. Conflict resolution. And like you get better at resolving conflicts and dealing with them and feeling better and understanding how they could end up being positive things in your life, you know? So I want to remind you that when you're dealing with conflicts or you're trying to figure out how to get through conflicts, that you have a superpower. The part of being a human being is having this superpower where you can sit down and you can scribble on a sheet of paper and something amazing happens. And I'm not even sure why it happens, but you can scribble on a sheet of paper and then before you know it, it like becomes a thing. You know, it's not just a marker on a sheet of paper anymore. It starts to become a person or a place or an animal. And you can take that and you can start to take like these negative feelings, these negative emotions, these big emotions that you deal with, and you can start to bury them in your artwork in a healthy way. And when I say bury, what I really mean is express. Like you start to be able to express yourself in these very healthy ways through art. So next time you are dealing with a tough day, a bad day, maybe you lost a friend or a loved one, maybe you've gotten into an argument with someone at school or at work. Um, maybe it's you got in a fight with your parents or your wife, or it's something to do with school. Sometimes we end up in conflicts because of just within ourselves. You might deal with a conflict like you're having a bad mental health day, like you're depressed or you're anxious, or maybe you're having a physical health day, like maybe you're sick, or maybe you hurt your foot, or who knows. There's a million ways where you kind of just have a conflict within yourself, mentally or physically, you know? And I want to remind you that art is this wonderful way that you can take these conflicts and express them in a way that's going to make you feel better and it's going to make you healthier. So next time you're feeling bad, don't take it out on your roommates. Don't take it out on your family. Don't take it out on your friends. Don't take it out on the drywall in your bedroom. Don't take it out on your pets. Don't take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on yourself. Okay? You gotta take it out on art. And that's literally what it's made for. Like we have this amazing superpower for some reason that the universe has given us, where we can scribble on paper, whether it be words or symbols or colors, or you can go dance in the middle of a room. There's just these amazing things that happen from scribbling on a sheet of paper. And I think that it's more important sometimes than the world gives it credit for. So when you are dealing with those conflicts, you're a superhero. Remember that. Your birthday's coming up June 1st? Okay, well, keep reminding me. We'll have to do something special. But yeah, you're right. Take it out on art. And that's the wonderful thing is like just like when you go, you could take it out on a jog too, you know. But when you're done jogging, you'll be healthier, you know. So if you're having a bad day and you do go take it out on art, you're gonna be healthier afterwards. Not only are you gonna be able to express your feelings and kind of move past what you're doing, but you're gonna be happier and healthier just because you expressed yourself. There's a little bit of like that conflict in the world that encourages us to express ourselves. And that conflict in the world that encourages us to express ourselves in a way is it's inspiring. You know, it's inspiring us to make work. It's going to inspire other people to make art. Sometimes you can look at those bad days and you can remember that you can work to transform these into something positive, you know? All right, don't forget, you're not alone. We're all feeling this way. We're all dealing with conflicts. You can find communities like this where you can talk to people about how you feel. Appreciate you being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. And you could do some of these drawings at home by yourself. I encourage you to not be concerned with how good or bad the drawings are, but just that they exist. And that just like art, just by art existing, it makes the world a better place. Well, you're the same way. Just by existing, you make the world a better place. So you keep making the world a better place. You keep existing with us. You keep hanging out. Keep drawing. Keep coming to these streams and talking to us about your feelings. Keep putting your feelings into your artwork. You'll become a better artist and a better person every day. I am so very proud of you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. And I'll see y'all next time. Blame yourself, dude. You just got here so late. I'm just finishing up the stream right now. Just looking through some of the drawings that we did. What's been up, Blame Yourself? How are you? We hadn't listened to your song on stream yet. I'm sorry, my guy. How have you been? What's been up? You know, some of these drawings, I don't like it when I'm doing them, but when I look back at them afterwards, sometimes I like them a lot. All right. That's it. All right, everybody, hit me in the chat with the Take It Out on Art. See you next time. Be sure and like and subscribe. Give yourself some grace. Make an effort to talk to yourself better inside your mind. Make sure you're working on that self-talk so you can spread that positivity other places in your life. All right, y'all, take it out on art. It was wonderful hanging out with all of you, and I'll see you next time.